DFCU Bank Limited at 547 shillings did not also trade any volumes, and we're seeing that there was no change in price for this particular stock as well. East African Breweries Limited at 5,034.40 did not also trade any volumes and didn't have much movements there, but we see that it had a loss of negative 4.65 Ugandan shillings. Equity Bank Limited also came out as a loser, as we have already analyzed, at a 1.45 loss, and that was of course coming down to 1,567.16 Ugandan shillings per share. And then Jubilee Holdings Limited, a company, also went down and went down by 7.35 shillings to 7,957.6, whereas Kenya Airways at 124.4 also went down by 0.11 shillings. KCB Bank also went down to prices as low as 1,356.04, whereas MTN Uganda went down to 185 after losing only 0.18 Ugandan shillings. Moving on to National Insurance Corporation, that is NIC, at 6 shillings, also did not have any changes in prices, neither did we have any volumes that were traded on the stock market. The Nation Media Group at 639.86 Ugandan shillings lost 0.59 cents. And then New Vision Printing and Publishing Company, NVL, 155 was their closing price. And Stanbic Bank Uganda, 21 shillings, that is SBU, their closing price was 21 shillings on the stock market with no volumes traded yesterday. Uganda Clays, the top at the bottom loser, lost 1.59 shillings, closing the day with 17 shillings on the market. And then Wumeme Limited came in with 200 shillings closing price after having been able to trade over 20,500 shares. Regarding the summary of this performance, at the end of the day, the day's trading session, we had 64,650 shares only, corresponding to a market value of 7.4 million that were transacted yesterday. And compared with the previous USE trading day, we're seeing that the data shows a 52% improvement, a 52% decline in volume, and a 28% improvement in turnover for this particular market. And the current market capitalization for the market is, for the Uganda Securities Exchange, is 22.5 trillion Ugandan shillings. That is definitely bringing us to the end of the performance there on the Uganda Stock Exchange. And this, of course, and more can be found on www.use.com if you want to learn more and would like to know more about the Uganda Securities Exchange. Remember, the exchange also has some listing of securities that are in the debt market, that is including bills and bonds and all the other products which you can find on their portal there online. And also they have www.use.org.ug easy portal /easy portal, where you can go to open an SCD account. That is if you want to use the online format, and all you need is your ID. Back and forth, you take pictures of your ID back and forth, and then you feed in your personal identification information and put also your passport photo, that is a selfie or something, and you'll be able to open this account for absolutely free of charge. Now, let's move on to Nairobi. Yesterday was a day after the election, and yes, definitely the election went on well, and definitely the markets are back to action. And we're seeing that yesterday's performance of the Nairobi Stock Exchange was a green one, with the index going up by over 4.93 points, which is about 3.4% increase in the prices in the all-share index. We're looking at the benchmark index for Nairobi. And when we look at the trading activity that took place on the Nairobi market, regarding this particular performance, we had only 40 Nairobi Security Exchange listed equities participate in trading. And among these, we ended with 23 gainers and about 7 on the market. And the TPS Eastern African Serena led the gainers with a 9.74% share price appreciation, ending with a day's closing price of 16.9 Kenyan shillings per share. And these were followed by Scan Group. Scan Group also came in with a price of a price appreciation of 8.38%. Uchumi Supermarket went up by 8%, and then Kenya Generals also went up by 7.67%, and those were some of the top gainers I can pull out. But we also had Wumeme, our very own Wumeme, went up on the Nairobi Securities Exchange by 5.48%, and when you look at also East African Cables, they also went up by 9.09% with a closing price of 1.32. And KCB Bank on the Nairobi Securities Exchange went up by 3.9%, closing at 44 Kenyan shillings. And you had a couple of other counters there participating on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. And regarding the losers, we had several, like I mentioned, 7 of them. And the losers from the bottom, we had Car and General Motors Kenya, who came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 2.27% of their price, closing at 43 Kenyan shillings per share. And then we had Kabasid Investments. Kabasid Investments also lost by about 2.12%, while British American Tobacco of Kenya lost 1.57%, and then Stanley Bahari Income REIT also lost by 1.11%. Nairobi Business Ventures also lost by 4.9%. And then equity also lost, and then we're seeing also NMG at 0.26% loss, closing at 19 Kenyan shillings. The NSE benchmark index, the Nairobi Securities All-Share Index, that is their benchmark index, calculating or tracking the performance of the stocks, all the stocks that are listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, as I've mentioned, went up on a daily gain of 2.04 points. And that was a 1.43% increase in points to close the day at 145.09 points, representing a 1-week gain of about 3.44% and a 4-week gain of 4.8%, but an overall year-to-date loss of 12.84%. And the other remarkable indices that outperformed their counterparts, we had the NSE 20, who also gained on a daily gain of 1.74% and gained on a weekly gain of 3.89%, while we had a 1-week year-to-date performance of losing about 6.71% on the NSE 20 all-share NSE 20 index that monitors the performance of the top 20 companies on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The NSE 25, that is the top 25 companies, also went up on a daily gain of 1.52% and a weekly gain of 4.63% and a year-to-date loss of 9.1%. Those are the counters that I can pick out that actually made some activity. They had some activity on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Remember, this exchange is open to foreign traders. It's the most developed and the largest trading security exchange on the East African soil, with over 65 companies that are listed on the exchange. Let us now look a little bit about TPS East African, who came out as a top gainer. TPS East Africa Limited is a Kenyan-based company which owns and operates hotels and lodge facilities in East Africa, and serving with its, of course, business especially to tourist markets. The company, alongside with its subsidiaries, are principally engaged in owning and operating about 32 resorts, safari lodges, and hotels which are located in East Africa, in Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and Mozambique, and as well as, of course, Asia, Southern Asia, like Pakistani. They have Afghanistan, and then Tajikistan, and so on. And its segments include Kenyan hotels, the Kenyan lodges, and Tanzania lodges. And the company operates through several subsidiaries, including tourism promotion services in Kenya, tourism promotion services in Tanzania, and tourism promotion services in Zanzibar as well. We are talking about TPS East Africa Limited, which is a hotel company that is specialized, especially targeting tourists that are coming to East Africa. Now, the East African Serena Limited, that is TPS East African Serena Limited, is listed on the NSE, and the TPS Eastern African symbol, trading symbol, is TPSE. That is TPS East African Serena Limited company, and they have currently been the 30th most valuable, ranked the 30th most valuable stock on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, with a total market capitalization of 3.08 billion Kenyan shillings, which is about 0.136% of the Nairobi Securities Exchange equity market, meaning they are quite very close to number one. They're quite in the middle, though. Out of the 65, they're the 30th in terms of value. In terms of trading volumes yesterday, we didn't see any traded volumes. However, we did see that there was an increase in price on a daily. Now they closed with the price of 16.9 Kenyan shillings per share, and recorded a 9.7% gain over the day, closing at 15.4 Kenyan shillings. TPS East Africa Serena began the year with a share price of 15.25 Kenyan shillings and has since gained 10.8% on its value on the year-to-date performance, and it's ranked number 10 in terms of year-to-date performance out of the 65 listed equities on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Shareholders can be really optimistic about investing in TPS East Africa Serena on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, simply because the stock has accrued over 22% over the past 4 weeks regarding its performance, because this is in the period and between the month of July, because we are looking at 10th of July and 10th of August. And within just these 4 weeks, they have been able to accrue over 22% for that period, and they're ranked number 3 in terms of monthly performance. In terms of traded volumes, TPS East Africa Serena is the 37th most valuable, most traded on stock on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and within the last 3 months, it has traded over 401,500 shares, with an average of over 6,700 shares, 6,300 shares average per session, and a volume high of 196,900 shares, which was achieved on the 12th of May within this same period. And you can see that they have some quite good activity, 17,000 shares yesterday. They have also 500 shares the day before, then 500. You see at least some good activity within the past few weeks on the counter. That is TPS, East Africa Serena Lodges and Hotels, which is specializing in, of course, accommodation of tourists around East Africa, in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. So now you know about the top gainer for yesterday's market on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You can buy stock across Nairobi and across Dar es Salaam by simply doing also what we know here best, going to your stockbroker, and you ask that, hey, I want to buy stock in Kenya, can I do that? And definitely on the show we will also be getting to engage some of the officials there on the Nairobi Securities Exchange to give you a little more light on what they do different, why their markets are so well developed, and why they have such a huge active market for now, as we may also want to see. You can also visit Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, and Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, you can see yesterday they had top gainers. We had Nation Media Group at 380, who came out at a gain of 5.56%, and then Jubilee Holdings Limited at 4,780 shillings, Tanzanian shillings for that sake, that is after a gain of 0.84%, and then East African Breweries Limited at 2.67% gain, with a closing price of 3,080 Tanzanian shillings on the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. That is still some exchange you can look into if you're looking for value, if you're looking for diversification. Now let us summarize the trading here on the Nairobi Stock Exchange, and before going into the break. At the end of yesterday's session of trading at Nairobi, we had a total of over 10,589,085 shares that were done on the trading session, and we had a total of about 858 deals within there, corresponding to a market value of 329 Kenyan shillings. You can imagine such a huge market, having over 300 million within this single day of trading, and we're talking about Kenyan shillings. Compared with the previous trading day, that was on Monday, 8th of August, the data shows a 45% decline in volume, and still a 25% decline in turnover, and a 27% decline in the deals that were done. And the current market capitalization for Nairobi Securities Exchange is 2.26 trillion Kenyan shillings on the stock market, and that is, of course, the Nairobi Stock Exchange. This is the principal stock exchange for Nairobi, but the largest stock exchange in East Africa. And many people, I'm telling you, here in Uganda, I know of so many people who have been able to invest in this market, and they can tell a very good story of the market. So if you're out there and you're wondering, you can still invest across East Africa without limits. All you have to do is get the information you need, get in touch with a stockbroker who can do it for you, get yourself some good amount of money that you think you can be able to part with for some time, and be able to invest in the Nairobi Stock Exchange, because it's quite an interesting market, it's quite an active market, it's quite a huge market that provides you with over 65 equities. 65. We have in Uganda only 18 equities, of course, of which only 10 are domestically listed. But in Nairobi, we are talking about 65 equities. So that's a market for you to actually explore and find out. And the Dar es Salaam as well, at 29 equities, you can still find a way to negotiate your way through and be able to make yourself an investor across East Africa for that matter. We're going to take a very short break, and we return. We wind up, of course, with the top stories and also looking at some other equities along Africa actually. We see how other stock markets are also doing, and we call it a day. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Smart 24, driving business. Vimba ne MTN kabodi super esimu ya sereza nga bw'ogisasulira mpola mpola kuba amasimu kyusa zi status za WhatsApp laba bu video ku YouTube oba kozesa Google okumanya buli ekiri wansi w'enjuba ku GB2 tukuweza buli mwezi okumala emyezi 7 sasulako emitwalo 99 zokka ezisigadde osasula mpola mpola kati okola ki leero genda ku dduuka lya MTN erikuli okumpi weefunire MTN kabodi super mangu.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show. Because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Chinyumira. Whether it is Katogo, Chikomando, Rolex Majasa to Nyanyambisi. Man, wherever I am, I enjoy Chinayu with your TV channels on my phone.
Enjoy a new world of entertainment with over 80 TV and radio channels, plus movies from wherever you are. Download the YoTV Channels app from your app store and enjoy 30 days of free streaming with MTN.
YoTV Channels.
Say goodbye to paperwork and travel costs. Now every MTN customer can register to invest in securities anytime and anywhere with Zabu in a few simple steps. Step 1. Dial *292#. Step 2. Select option 1. Register with Zabu. Step 3. Enter your full names. Step 4. Enter your national identification number. Step 5. Enter your national identification card number. In 24 hours, you will receive an SMS confirming your registration. Congratulations.